Hey guys, Brent Hull Wednesday design video. We're looking at a house in Miami that's probably built in the 60s or 70s. Not very good. What do you do? Come join me. Okay guys, working on this house in Florida. This is an old client. I worked on the parents' house and this is the kids' house. And so it's a fairly typical house in Florida, right? It's not especially exciting, but it's kind of leaning in some different directions that we're going to try to steer it towards. We ended up kind of on a Mediterranean pace because we thought that this house most easily adapted. It already has a barrel tile roof, kind of has some arched windows, right? But how do you kind of infuse better architectural details into a house like this? I think it starts with basically kind of creating that exterior courtyard, which is what we're showing here, or in this example, kind of coming up with some ways to create a sense of arrival and kind of organization around an architecture. And so you see us introducing some architectural details, but that courtyard being kind of that centerpiece. I mean, there's two ways to do this. One, you've got kind of a courtyard where you've got an outer courtyard and an inner courtyard. And, before you get into the house, and you got another one where you walk in that early part and then you've got this entire courtyard with some water features and stuff. But I mean, what a transformational experience going from, what was there to something like this. And it's all by kind of infusing that architectural detail. If you look at kind of this entry courtyard, which is kind of overgrown and needs some work, especially that door, you can see that, we're kind of building in some architectural oomph, right, as I like to say, but some seating, a little fountain, a little water feature there, a better door. Really cleaning that up, I think, makes a big difference. And even in this one where, the different kind of experience, maybe even introducing some tile in here, maybe the way you grow the plants and stuff is completely different as well. So, and when you go inside, if you think that, it's kind of simple in this period. I mean, there is no crown molding. It's basically a vaulted ceiling to create kind of an expanse. Well, now if we infuse actually architectural details that we're placing on the outside, on the inside here, now all of a sudden we've got built-in shelves, the little scalloping around these openings really helps in the arch details. And look what beams do, right? Really, beams really help kind of express that, style and kind of how it's all coming together. So playing with the architecture, even going out into the back, you'll see that we've got kind of that typical Miami backyard with the screening over top and everything else. But you put a little architectural emphasis on this and it can become quite a different experience. And so I think this photo basically captures that Miami backyard. You got sliding doors, you've got this very plain, almost strip mall kind of stucco work, and those big tents that everybody puts over their pool. So you might feel trapped by this kind of look. You might feel like, everybody's got this, it looks common everywhere, but notice the details that we're doing and changing to this thing that really create a different kind of place, create a different kind of feel. Change the sliding doors to swinging doors. Not a huge expense, but something that really captures that feeling. Panels below, lights above. And look how we just changed the architecture of the stucco there. We've basically added some chamfering along the edge. We've done these corbels, the corbel shape here and how it works. She's even dropped it down onto a corbel on the wall, adding trellising along the wall. I mean, that floor is actually kind of old world, so it's not, I'm sure it's stamped concrete, but it doesn't look really terrible, but now we're transformed and we're somewhere in the Mediterranean. We're somewhere else. We're not in backyard Miami. I noticed we didn't do anything about the tent-like structure over top, but architecturally, I think it communicates that if you understand those traditional details, if you understand architectural precedent, if you understand a style like Spanish or Mediterranean or whatever we're kind of playing with here, a mix of all those, you can infuse great details into these houses that really change it and transform it and make it something really special. And then just doing better details, right? The plank door is a huge one. Plank doors, are part of that. And I've gone back to, or Ashlyn was working mostly on this, she's gone back to some of those architectural traditions that you'd see in the 20s and 30s. And they go back, of course, back to the Spanish and Spanish colonial period, where plank style door was very much a part of that early architecture and early detailing. So the scalloping around the windows, iron bars, right? Tile work, water features. We are capturing that Spanish essence, right, and trying to infuse it into this house. This house, I think, works too because it's in a southern climate. It's in almost a Mediterranean type climate with the fair weather and the sun and the sand and the beaches and close to the water. So I think this house really can carry this look really well and can really be quite stunning in the way it's put together. So I think this house really transforms and becomes something special with these details. And certainly driving up to this house is more exciting to me than driving up to this. And so this looks like suburbia Miami. This looks like you've been transformed to another place in time. So not huge costs here either to do this. We've changed the garage door. We've done some work here with a little bit of landscaping and changed the door. Okay, so maybe you change this window, right? So not a huge cost, but I think a huge upgrade. Let me know what you guys think. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think that Ashlyn did that. That was a incredible transformation. I mean, the scalloping, the entry garden, all that different stuff is really special. I think that was transformational. And you saw how adding architectural story, narrative really elevates that job, really makes it special. Let me know what you guys think. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.